welcome to Ellen Ruth Soap. I'm Ellen, and today the soap we're making is foodie inspired because the fragrance that I picked out, it's called White Truffle Raspberry. Ooh, this smells nice. It's chocolatey, it's got a little fruity kick in there. It's lovely, but of course, being this foodie, chocolatey scent, it does have vanillin, so this will discolor. It says it discolors to light brown. Haven't soaped with it before, but it got good reviews. Smells so good. So this is the springboard for what we're doing today, and what we're doing is making soap cupcakes. So I have little silicone cupcake molds, but I wanted to use this mold today. I just felt like it, and I like the size of these. It's about a 2-inch round size, and they're about 1.5 to 2 inches deep. And I thought these would make perfect little base to the cupcakes, and then a big fluffy frosting on top. So that's the mold I'm going to use for that. And what I will do is I will share the recipe that we're making today for these cupcakes, and I'm going to make a double recipe. So whatever it takes to fill all 8 of these cavities, and then double that so that I want at least that much frosting on each cupcake. So I will leave all that down below in the description box. So there is my mold, and then the white truffle raspberry had me thinking about the top. So to color the base of the soap with the vanillin, I'm going to add a combination of some titanium dioxide and a little of my organic cacao powder, because this is foodie and this is a foodie inspired soap, and this colors so beautifully. And cocoa has some, antioxidant properties, and it's good for your skin. Some people will do cocoa powder facial masks and things. So we're doing cocoa powder for the base, but the base will have a little TD in it. And for the frosting, I will leave the TD out because I want the frosting to be like a chocolate frosting. And to represent the raspberries, I have these really cute little molds. I got these on Amazon. They're very flexible, easy to unmold. I'm going to make some melt and pour raspberries to go down on top, and I'm going to color these with my Jazzberry Red Mica from Wholesale Supplies Plus. So I thought that, along with the chocolate brown, is going to look yummy and scrumptious, and they're going to smell fantastic. It's going to be so good. So I will share the full recipe down below. So I need to get everything prepped and ready to go, and let's come back and make some really luscious smelling soap cupcakes. Right, we're back, and I have my little melt and pour berries made, and I just need to unmold them. And this little mold here is so flexible, it unmolds so easy. And look at how cute that is. So each cupcake is going to get a couple little raspberries to go down on top to represent, and the fragrance is smelling wonderful. I have it measured off to the side here, and we'll talk about fragrance load in a minute when we get into it, because this fragrance was one of those not your average fragrance load ones. So we'll talk more about that later, but for now I need to get all of my little raspberries out of this mold, and then we will come back and make some soap. We're back for soap additives time, and I just want to show you really quick. The piping tip that I'm going to use is just this open hole. It's a Wilton 1A. I didn't want a flowery edge on it. I just wanted a simple, thick, creamy looking piping. So this is going to get the job done. So there's the piping tip. And now for the additives. Let's talk about the fragrance load, because I'm going to go ahead and add this fragrance right on in the oils here. This fragrance, and this is one of the reasons why you always want to look up whatever fragrance or essential oil you're using, the usage rate. The recommended usage rate for soap for this fragrance was 8.3%. That's a little heavier than I tend to like to go, so I'm doing 5%. So for this volume of recipe at 5%, I'm going to do 3.3 ounces of fragrance, and we're going to go ahead and pop it right in here, and I think we'll still get a nice strong scent. This smells divine. Let me just say that. It smells really good. All right, so the fragrance is in there. That'll just make it easy when I go to split the batch and get everything for the frosting. It's already in there, and I don't have to think about it after I get this blended up. But for the additives, I did make one little change. I had originally said I was going to do a lighter color and the cupcake base and dark frosting. I'm going to reverse that. We're going to do a dark chocolate cupcake with a milk chocolate frosting. So I'll be adding my titanium dioxide to the frosting portion. So just a flip on that. All right, let's talk about the oils here before I pop in all these additives that I have going on. And I already talked about the fragrance load, and I forgot to tell you the recipe. I'll just tell you really quickly, for the size that I'm making today, to make 1 pan of cupcakes with frosting, I'm going to use 14.4 ounces of coconut oil is in there, 2.4 ounces of cocoa butter, 2.4 ounces of shea butter, 2.4 ounces of castor oil and 26.4 ounces of olive oil. And it will all be written down below, and I'll have it in percent form in case you need to size this recipe up or down. So all right, and then we'll talk about the lye when we get to that. So right now for this, that's 48 ounces of oils. Here's what I'm going to do here for my dry additives. I'm going to go ahead and add my kaolin clay. This is a 2 tablespoon scoop, so I'm going to go very shy on this. So that's probably 1 tablespoon I'm going to pop in here. And then the oats, the same thing. I'm going to go real shy on it. And because this is super foodie and I can't resist, I'm going to add some heavy cream powder. All these dry ingredients that I'm adding in here are completely optional. You do not need to add them, and you will still have a beautiful bar of soap. I just love them. I'm kind of extra, love the extra. This is a 2 tablespoon scoop. That's about 1 tablespoon that I'm adding in of the cream powder. And then, just to make blending great, let's go ahead and add our cocoa powder or cacao powder right on into the oils and get it blended in there. And again, we'll do the TD when it comes time for the frosting. All right, this is a teaspoon, and that's heaping, so that's probably good 2 to 3 teaspoons. I'm going to do another one of those, and we'll call it good. All right, cleaned up my work area. Now let's get these blended in, and something to note about cocoa powder, kind of like titanium dioxide, it can speed trace. So when it comes time to add the lye in here, we're going to proceed cautiously, but yeah, just know that about cocoa powder and plan ahead. About ready to add our lye solution, and I just want to show you I have my floppy mold up on a tray here in case I need to move it as it's setting up, and I have my little berries there, so this is all ready to go. Before I like to have my mold all set up before I even add the lye solution in. So now let's talk about the lye solution. And I'm sorry I didn't film the making of these. I just had so many different soaps lined up to get ready, and I forgot to turn the camera on, and but I'm telling you what I'm doing. So here's the lye solution. What I have here is 12 ounces of water that I dissolved a tablespoon of sugar in the water. I put a couple little pinches of Tussa silk fibers in there, and to that I added 6.77 or 6.8 respectively of sodium hydroxide. So this is 12 ounces of water, 6.8 ounces of lye, and that's a pretty steep water discount, but I really like that. That's how I like to soap. And so yeah, we got the silk, we got the sugar in there. Sugar is a lather booster. That's why I add it. Again, it's optional. You don't need to add sugar to your lye solution at all. You'll still have a beautiful lather. I just like the extras. That's how I roll. So I'm going to add this in here. We'll get it up to a nice light trace, pour my little cupcake full, and then I will add TD to the remainder and get it in the piping bag for the top. And I am soaping very cool today. I made the oils and the lye yesterday, so it's probably about 70 degrees, this water and lye. The oils and the lye are about 70 degrees. Tray over here. And I'm just going to pulse and stir. And the plan is to fill these up almost to the top, not quite to the top. I want to leave a little bit of room. Oh, that's an interesting color morph. It lightened up that cocoa powder. Funny. All right, it's time to add some TD in here and lighten up our frosting. So this is 1 part water-soluble TD to 2 parts of water, and I keep it pre-mixed, and there's some little ball bearings in there that help keep it smooth. So I always keep this on hand, pre-mixed and ready to go. Not measuring, I'm just going to do kind of a zhuzh. We'll mix it up and see how we like the color. It's not an exact science. I still want a chocolatey look, but I want it to be lighter than the body of the cupcake. That's looking pretty. All right, so now with blending the frosting, I don't have to worry about it getting too thick because we're waiting for this to get up to a nice frosting consistency so we can pipe it down. All right, so now it's just a matter of waiting. I'm going to come and stir this every couple minutes and check it out as it thickens up here in the pot until it's ready to go. All right, I figured I'd show you the progress of our frosting here. It's like thick, warm pudding, so obviously it's not ready to pipe. One of the other ways you can tell is you do a sloop test. You run it on the side of your pitcher, and if it holds in a blob, it's ready. But if it runs down like that, it's not ready. Oh, goodness, I wish you all could smell this. Smells like a bakery in the studio today. Divine. We'll be back in another 5 minutes to check it. All right, it's been 5 more minutes. We're definitely getting thicker, but not quite there yet. All right, it's getting pretty thick here. It's not quite ready yet, but I'm going to go ahead and fill my piping bag and get it started. I'm going to probably have to refill my bag a couple times, but you know, it can firm up in the bag too, so let's get some in there. All right, so the frosting is still a little bit loose, but I'm going to put one little circle on each of these to get them started. Back. It's the next day, and look at all this extra frosting I had. So I overestimated how much soap I would need for one tray of these. Maybe I should have done two because they're so cute. But anyway, I always keep little silicone molds off to the side. The flower ones, I love these little owl ones also. And I'll leave a link down below for these. They're in my Amazon store. I have a link down there that shows the equipment I use often, the additives I use. A lot of information is down in there. So anyway, here we are, and look how cute these came off. So last night I did not cover these or anything. I just left them sitting just like this out on the table overnight. So I didn't go through gel phase or anything like that. And I did bump the top of this one, so I knocked off its twirl. I was really bummed about that. So here they are. Let's get these out of the mold and see how this little cupcake came out on the inside here, because we can obviously see the color of the frosting, which is kind of almost like a butterscotch color. I think it's lovely. But now we have to see what that little cupcake looks like. Okay. Ah, it unmolds so cute. So see that little rim there? That's what it's going to discolor to after it's out of the mold here. Oh my word, these look like little pastries to me. Not necessarily a cupcake. They look more like a little decadent pastry. So fun. Look at that little twirl. Oh my gosh. All right, I'm just tickled with these. So let's get the rest of these out of the mold. And these molds are super easy. I just have my hand. Well, let's see. Let me push the extras out of the way here. I'm just putting my fingers up on the bottom and pressing gently, and they just come right on up. So easy to unmold because this is very flexible. Oh my goodness. These are darling. I love them. So let's talk about wrapping an odd shaped soap like this. I don't think a paper wrapping would work very well. Shrink wrap would work perfectly for these because, you know, each one is a little bit different shaped on top. They're not all the same and they have the little twirls. So a shrink band, after the cure, of course, would keep these really nice and stable. Also, though, when I was doing farmers markets, I wouldn't ship like this, but if I was doing a farmers market or giving these as a gift, let me show you a wrapping idea. I got these. They are clear plastic cold cups with lids. If you can see the label there. Okay, this is the 9-ounce cup. If you're looking for them, I got these on Amazon. I'll leave a link down below. And then it has this little dome lid. I guess you can pop the center out for a straw, or if you were at the market, you could pop it out for a sniff through. But these hold a cupcake so cute. So actually, I don't really like the crinkle paper. So if you just put it like that, put a lid on it, and put your label on here, that is a great way to display these. When I was at the farmer's market, I had a cake stand, a multi-layered cake stand, and I would have soap cupcakes layered up in different flavors, or not flavors, oh my word. Can't believe I just said that. In different fragrances and designs. But these little cups with the dome lids are perfect for a little high top cupcake type dessert soap. I think they are perfect. So yeah, I didn't really use this crinkle paper in here. Yeah, I didn't like how that looked. I like you to be able to see the cupcake is fitting the bottom perfectly, so it's very stable in here, and I think they look adorable. So this is a really great way to wrap a cupcake type soap. Well, that's a wrap for today's video, and I will take pictures of these after the cure finishes out and you get to see the dark cupcake base and then the lighter frosting. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I hope you give the recipe a try. It's a really great little fun project to do, and I think these would make a wonderful gift for somebody special. Have a wonderful day.